feed the viewers again, you know. Yeah, it's AMD's turn now. Oh, by the way, hello viewers. Mornings. Another beautiful day. Hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good or excellent. Alright, I got something for you AMD fans. I just took care of Nvidia and Intel fans. Now it's you AMD fans' turn. Your turn. Yeah, you. Alright, I got something for you guys. Listen to this. Okay, let's see. We're talking about this Adrenalin software, you know. 25. Says here AMD's 25.3.2 driver fix major bugs. So Windows Update no longer install old driver on 9070. Yeah, the Steam Deck needs a 9070 graphics card, Oculent port, so we can take advantage of these cards, you know. But anyway, let me get into this. It says here, AMD has released a new display driver today for Windows 11/10. This is a beta driver and is not Microsoft WHQL certified. The release is said to address one of the biggest Windows Update release issue, wherein an older driver delivers via Windows Update while overwrite a newer driver. This issue happens across different generations of CPUs. Says here generations of GPUs. I said CPUs. Cat distracted me there. It says here, but AMD says that the bug has been resolved for its latest RX 9000 series cards. So that is some progress, and hopefully Radeon team will be able to fix this issue for all generations of its GPUs. It says here, aside from that, the new 25.3.2 driver version 24.30.31.04 and Windows driver store version 32.0.130.31.440.34 also brings support for a couple of new games. First, Ubisoft Assassin's Creed Shadow, and second is Last of Us 2 Remastered. It says here there are also several game bug fixes, like the one for MSAA on Counter-Strike 2, Alt-Tab crashing, a multi-monitor bug, and more. The full release notes are given below. Yeah, it says here, highlights: new game support, Assassin's Creed Shadow, The Last of Us Part 2, fix issues and improvements. Incorrect gamma is exhibited while playing Counter-Strike 2 and using MSAA X8 on Radeon RX 9070 series graphics products. Intermittent application crash may be observed in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle when settings are set to very ultra quality and path tracing is enabled. Users experiencing this issue are recommended to use the default ray tracing settings as temporary workaround. Third-party tools that rely on our ADL SDK for detecting ROPS count will incorrectly report 64 ROPS. Lower than expected performance may be observed while playing Assetto Corsa Competizione on Radeon RX 9000 series graphics products. Intermittent system or application crash may be observed while pressing Alt-Tab during gameplay on some AMD Radeon graphics products, such as Radeon RX 6000 series. Intermittent system or application crash may be observed while using multiple high refresh rate plus 120 Hz monitors with HDMI connection. Windows Update may overwrite the installed AMD software Adrenalin Edition with an older version of the graphics driver on Radeon RX 9000 series graphics products. And then it says, developer update, AMD Radeon Developer Tool Suite RDTS update with support for AMD Radeon RX 9000 series graphics cards is available now. Learn more about all the latest update to our developer tool here. We'll leave the link. Then it says AMD FSR 3.1 is now available in over 110 available in upcoming games. Update your games with the AMD Fidelity FX SDK to have our latest technology, including AMD FSR4 support. Then it says stay tuned to the GPU Open new feed and social channel for the latest update update for developers. It says known issues. It says here system crash may be observed due to a memory leak when using Steam VR on some AMD Radeon graphics products, such as the Radeon RX series. Users experiencing this issues are recommended to turn off monitor smoothing in Steam VR settings, performance loggings, notification from AMD software. Adrenaline Edition may appear while using the right Alt plus L hotkey if the Microsoft Windows display language is not English. Intermittent crash of AMD software Adrenaline Edition may be observed while playing Marvel Spider-Man 2 or Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart with AMD Image Inspector enabled. User experiencing this issue are recommended to disable AMD Image Inspector as a temporary workaround. Lower than expected performance may be observed when using YouTube on the Microsoft Edge web browser immediately after a driver install. Users experiencing these issues are recommended to restart Microsoft Edge and relaunch YouTube as a temporary workaround. Then it says using the AMD Cleanup utility for Windows, the AMD bug report tool may appear intermittently during a new driver install on AMD Ryzen 7000 and above series processor paired with AMD graphics products. After completing a driver upgrade on certain laptops, users may experience intermittent failures for the integrated camera to start. Users experiencing these issues are recommended to use the AMD Cleanup utility for Windows and use our previous recommended driver available here. Says here, stutters may be observed while playing games with some VR headsets at 80 Hz or 90 Hz refresh rate on some AMD Radeon graphics products such as the Radeon RX 7000 series. Users experiencing these issues are recommended to change the refresh rate as a temporary workaround. Installation progress may persistently display 0% while installing chipset drivers using AMD Install Manager. Then it says installation progress. Wait a minute. Installation progress may persist, display 0% while installing AMD Chat within the AMD software Adrenaline Edition. Users interface are upgrading to AMD Radeon RX 9000 series graphics products. And then it says to download the 25.3.2 driver, head over to AMD's official website here, where you can also view the release notes. Yeah, any comment from the politicians yet? Zero. Now, over on video cards now, let's see what they're hollering about. All right, let's see what AMD. Oh, they got a nice little list too. You know, got to get theirs. You know, so it says here, download AMD software Adrenaline 25.3.2 driver. All right, now what do we got? It says new game support: Assassin's Creed, Shadows, and Last of Us Part 2. All right, then they have AMD developer update, AMD developer tool RDTS update with support for AMD Radeon RX 9000 series graphics card is available now. Learn more about all the latest update to our developer tool here. AMD FSR 3.1 is now available in over 110 available and upcoming games. Update your games with the AMD Fidelity FXI SDK to have your latest technology, including AMD FSR 4 support. You see why I do both? Okay. Says here I fix issues because they have different things to say. That's why I cover both. Says here fix issues. Incorrect gammas is exhibit while playing Counter-Strike 2 and using an MSAA X8 on Radeon RX 9070 series graphics products. Intermittent application crash may be observed in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle when settings are set to very ultra quality and path tracing is enabled. Users experiencing these issues are recommended to use the default ray tracing settings as a temporary workaround. Third-party tools that rely on our ADL SDK for detecting ROPS count will incorrectly report 64 ROPS. Lower than expected performance may be observed while playing Asetso Corsa Competizione on Radeon RX 9000 series graphics products. Major Nelson on Xbox used to call. I heard him call the word out, so I had to learn from him. But anyway, says here, intermittent system or application crash may be observed while pressing Alt Tab during gameplay on some AMD Radeon graphics products, such as the Radeon RX 6000 series. Intermittent system or application crash may be observed while using multiple high refresh rate plus 120 Hz monitor with HDMI connection. It says Windows Update may overwrite the install AMD software Adrenalin Edition with an older version of graphics driver on Radeon RX 9000 series graphics products. It says known issues. System crash may be observed due to memory leak when using SteamVR on some Radeon graphics products, such as our Radeon RX 9000 series. Users experiencing the issues are recommended to turn off motion smoothing in SteamVR settings. Performance login notification from AMD Software Adrenalin Edition may appear while using right Alt plus L hotkey in the Microsoft Windows display language is not English. Intermittent crash of AMD Software Adrenalin may be observed while playing Marvel Spider-Man 2 or Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart with AMD Image Inspector enabled. Users experiencing these issues are recommended to disable AMD Image Inspector as a temporary workaround. Lower than expected performance may be observed when using YouTube on the Microsoft web browser immediately after a driver is installed. Users experiencing this issues are recommended to restart Microsoft Edge and relaunch YouTube as a temporary workaround. After using AMD Cleanup utility for Windows, and the AMD Bug Report tool may appear intermittently during a new driver install on AMD Ryzen 7000 and above series processors paired with AMD graphics products. After completing a driver upgrade on certain laptops, users may experience intermittent failures for integrated camera to start. Users experiencing these issues are recommended to use the AMD Cleanup utility for Windows and use our previous recommended driver. It says here, stutters may be observed while playing games with some VR headsets at 80 Hz or 90 Hz refresh rate on some AMD Radeon graphics products, such as Radeon RX 7000 series. Users experiencing this issues are recommended to change the refresh rate as a temporary workaround. Installation progress may persistently display 0% while installing the chipset driver using AMD Install Manager. Install progress may persistently display 0 while installing AMD Chat within the AMD Software Adrenalin Edition user interface after upgrading to AMD Radeon RX 9000 series graphics products. Now it says here packet content for AMD Software Adrenalin Edition 25.3.2 optional update driver 24.30.31.04 for Windows 10 and Windows 11. Windows driver store version 32.0.13031.4034. And who is this for? Who is this really for? Let's see, for desktop, for the Radeon 9000 series, Radeon 7000 series, Radeon 6000 series, Radeon 5000 series, and for mobile, Radeon 6000M series, Radeon 5000M series, and integrated is for Radeon 700M series and Radeon 600M series. So yeah, that should hold you AMD users for now. We got four politicians in the comment sections, and they're going at it. Now, there was another article here that I think it was on Twigtown. Let me get this out of the way too, since I'm at it. Yeah, this one is for AMD. It says AMD confirmed to skip RDNA 4 for Zen 6 APU, RDNA 4 for discrete GPU only, RDNA 3.5 on Zen 6. It says here, so what they got here, so I can get this out of the way here. No, I don't want to see that. Get that out of here. Whoops. Skip add. Okay, alright. Says here. Okay, I don't want to see that. Alright, now. See if I can get this. Yep. Okay, what is... Okay. Okay, let me get this out of the way. Okay. Close. Alright, good. I'm almost done here. Okay, now see if I can get this. It says here GPU driver reveals AMD will be using RDNA 3.5 on next gen Zen 6 APU, as RDNA 4 GPUs reserved for discrete cards only. RDNA 3.5 to be used on Zen 6. Says AMD Zen 6 base Medusa Halo Point APU uses RDNA 3.5 GPU cores, not RDNA 4, which is reserved for discrete GPU like the Radeon RX 9070 series. Medusa Halo APU features up to 48 CUS and 384-bit memory bus, potentially offering RTX 5070 Ti level performance. AMD next generation Zen 6 base APU will not be using RDNA 4 GPU core, instead of relying on RDNA 3.5 GPU that is used inside of Zen 5 base Strix Point. It says, and just release Strix Point Halo APUs. And it says this news is coming from AMD GPU Open Driver code on GitHub, where the device ID GFX LP12 for RDNA 4 being exclusively reserved for discrete GPU, likely just released Radeon RX 9070 series graphics card. AMD currently fleets of Radeon RX 9070 series graphics card will be exclusive to use of RDNA 4, while next gen Medusa Point and Medusa Halo APU using RDNA 3.5. Says there AMD next gen Zen 6 Medusa Point and Medusa Halo APU will feature next gen 6 cores with Medusa Strix Point APU expected debuted with between 12 CUS and 32 of RDNA 3.x GPUs, while Medusa Halo will bump the RDNA 3.5 GPU core count up to 48 CUs. Zen 6 base Medusa Point and Medusa Halo APU will also reportedly have a 384-bit bus that expect to drive performance up to 30 to 50% over the new Strix Point Halo APU. It says there UDNA is the next GPU architecture for after RDNA 4, so we could expect AMD to dive right into the next gen unified GPU architecture of Medusa Point and Medusa Halo. This increased memory bus and GPU core inside Medusa Halo are expected to drive up RTX 5070 Ti level gaming up performance, which would be nice to see from UDNA GPU cores instead of the new Zen 6 base APUs. And let's see here, so I can get this here. Whoops. Yeah, AMD's trying to keep up with NVIDIA, man. That's what the look of this. Says AMD next, says here okay, Okay, it says here RDNA 3.5 previously RDNA architecture don't support FSR4, which is exclusive to RDNA 4, so it would be nice to see UDNA and FSR4 and even FSR5 support inside of Medusa Point. In Medusa Halo, we'll know more in the months ahead as we get closer to their reveal. Well, AMD coming out with some new tech, you know, but RDNA 4 is exclusive, but they're using 3.5. You would have think RDNA 4 is like exclusive to discrete GPUs, but you would think they would have used 4 instead of 3.5, but AMD will have to do some more explaining on why they decided to go with 3.5 instead of 4, you know. So yeah, you would have think they would have jumped on used 4 with the Zen 6. We thought they would have used 4, so give them time, you know. They're gonna have to explain in the days and the weeks to come. But for you gamers, AMD is just keeping up with the times, man, with this news. But on the where is this? Let's see if I can get on the AMD software. You guys are good. The Adrenalin software. You guys are good for now. There will be another update in another week or so. So I'll keep you guys up to date on it. On what's going on with this. So this should improve things for now. And whatever issues you got, send them to AMD. We'll leave the links in the articles in the description box. Yeah, keep you guys in the loop, man. But have fun, you Intel, Nvidia, and AMD fans. You guys are covered, man. They dropped all this morning. I didn't even see all this coming, so yeah, got to put it out there, man. You know, the tech industry is moving. Every update that comes out from Nvidia, Intel, and AMD, you know, makes the experience more better, you know. Yeah. So the gamers, they need Nvidia, Intel, and AMD, you know, products. But Intel and Nvidia and AMD needs the gamers, you know, help with, like, you know, whatever problems they're having, you know. So yeah, so they can get better at it. So yeah. But other than that, you guys are good. News, deals, games, update, the usual. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Crystal, Star Wars, Star Trek thing, Borg, Dark Side. Go. Peace. Oh.